Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Yoga with Janie Rose. Today's class is my own personal practice recorded. I call this style Practice with Me. I have one posture in mind for today, and it requires some hip and hamstring opening. So let's begin in reclined butterfly. Feet together, knees wide, laying down on your back. As you settle into the pose, relax your arms in a position that feels comfortable and begin to connect with your breath. Inhaling fully to expand the belly and chest, and exhaling to ground deeper into the mat. Inhaling to a count of 3, maybe 4, and exhaling to the same count of 3 or 4 through the nose. Option to reach your arms up and overhead, relaxing them to the mat. I like to do this as it just changes the stretch through the shoulders and the chest. We'll spend several more breaths here. Slowly guide your hands under your thighs, press your knees to touch, and heel toe your feet as wide as your mat, resetting the hips. Slowly let your knees fall to the right, pause for a moment, then over to the left. Do that one more time each way, slowly releasing the hips. Guide your knees through center and in towards your heart, hands to shins. Gently rock it out side to side. Take a nice big inhale and exhale forehead to knees for a rounding squeeze. Inhale the head down, then come through happy baby. Reach for your feet and guide your knees on either side of your torso. Press your low back down and breathe. On your next inhale, guide hands under thighs and rock up to seated with legs straight out in front of you, flexing through your toes. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge from your hips as you bow over legs, reaching hands as close to feet as possible. We're going to spend several breaths here, gently opening up the back body. I like to treat the first few deep stretches like a yin asana, which means that I just allow the pose to unfold on its own as I spend time breathing deep into it. With every exhale, you might find yourself softening closer towards your legs. On your next inhale, rise up through seated, crossing the legs in, and make your way onto all fours, a tabletop position. On your next exhale, round through your back to a cat stretch. Inhale, arches the back to cow, belly stretch. Exhale, press into the hands, rounding through the upper back. And inhale to drop the belly as you lift the chin. One more each way, moving with your breath. Exhale through center. Inhale to extend the left leg back, plant the mounds of your toes down. Press into your hands as if you're trying to get your heel to touch the ground. Pivot your right toes behind your right knee and extend the left arm up and overhead. Press your hips up to the sky for a deeper side body stretch. Exhale through tabletop. Extend your right foot back, plant the toes, and press into your hands. Transition by planting the left foot behind the left knee, right arm up and overhead for a deep right side body stretch. Come back through a tabletop. Left hand palm up slides under the right arm, left shoulder down, left side of the head down. Keep your right hand under your right elbow, gently pressing to stack the shoulders and deepen the twist. Inhale back through center, tabletop, and exhale the other way. Right hand palm up slides under left. Breathe deep into this torso twist. Inhale through tabletop and lengthen your spine. Feet hip distance as you tuck your toes through downward facing dog pose. Let's take some movement here, perhaps bending one knee at a time, or do whatever feels good for you. Gently popping the hip out from side to side as you extend the leg just helps to deepen the stretch through the outside edge of the hip and warms that space up for what's to come in practice. On your next exhale, slowly walk your feet halfway up the mat. Inhale through a half lift. You can rise to fingertips and exhale to fold over gently bent knees. Relax the head and neck. It might feel nice to bend one knee deeply at a time with me, as I find this again helps to deepen the stretch on the outer edge of the hip. Slowly walk your feet through between your hands and separate your feet hip distance. Inhale through a half lift. You can take hands to legs and exhale, gently bow over legs. Again, inhale through half lift and exhale to fold. One more, inhale half lift and exhale, release hands through elbows in ragdoll. Option to sway side to side, a little or a lot with me. Inhale, plant your hands and half lift, lengthen. Exhale, lunge the left foot back and lower the left knee to Anjaneyasana. You can stay low in this variation of the pose, or inhale, rise up and reach your arms to the sky. Gently allow the weight of the body to sink into the hips, deepening the stretch. Breathe. Exhale, plants the hands and steps back to a plank. Hold plank for a few breaths, lengthening the crown of the head forward, pressing into the hands, and drawing the belly button back. Exhale lowers the knees, arches the back like cow, and lowers the chest and chin down to Ashtanga Namaskara. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Slide your legs straight back and lower your hips, preparing for Cobra pose. Inhale to press up. Keep a gentle bend in the elbows. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up again. maybe a little deeper. And exhale, forehead to the ground. Inhale one more time, lift your heart, and exhale, lower to the earth. Press back to knees and tuck your toes. You might pause for a breath or two in this child's pose before coming back to a downward facing dog. And let's take a few breaths. Take a big breath in and exhale, step the right foot through between your hands. Pause in runner's lunge with hands under shoulders and open your chest forward. On an exhale, step the back foot through to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold over legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lunges right foot down the mat, lowering your right knee and untucking the back toes. Pause in your low lunge pose. On an inhale, rise up with arms to the sky, shoulders away from ears, lifting your heart and drawing your belly button towards the spine. Inhale deeply. Exhale, circles the hands to the earth, stepping back to plank. Holding plank, strong. On your next exhale, lower your knees, arch your back, and release the chest and chin down. Ashtanga Namaskara. Exhale, slides the legs straight back. Lower the hips. Plant your hands by your sides and inhale, press up to a cobra pose. Lift your heart. Exhale, lower down, forehead to the ground. Press back to knees, tuck toes through downward facing dog pose and hold for a few breaths. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, steps left foot through between your hands. Pause in runner's lunge. Open your chest forward. Exhale, steps back foot through to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach up to stand. Hands touch overhead. Gentle back bend. Exhale, through Samastitihi, equal standing. Inhale, reach up and take a gentle back bend. Exhale, bow forward, hinging from the hips. Plant your hands. Inhale through a half lift. Exhale, step back to plank and lower to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale through upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a few long deep breaths. On your next inhale, rise through tiptoes, bend through knees, walk, lunge, or hop to the top of your mat. Half lift, fold as you exhale. Inhale, rise to stand. Take a gentle back bend. Exhale, arms by your sides. Chair pose. Bend through your knees. Inhale, arms by the ears. Interlace your fingers and shine your palms to the sky, opening the wrists. Draw your shoulders away from your ears as you shift the weight towards your heels, sinking a little deeper. On an exhale, release your chest towards your thighs, reaching the arms forward. Breathe. On an exhale, plant the hands and fold over straight legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, float or step back through Chaturanga. Inhale through upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot between your hands through warrior one. Reach your arms to the sky and pause for 5 long, deep breaths. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank, option float the right toes as you lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot through, pivot the back heel down, and rise to warrior one. Hold once again for 5 breaths. Inhale deeply. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping back through plank, floating left toes as you lower to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's spend a few breaths here. Inhale through toes, bend through knees. Walk, lunge, or hop to the top, into a half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold over legs. Bend your knees through chair pose, inhaling arms high. Exhale, standing, samastitihi. Chair pose, bend your knees, inhale, arms up, hold for a breath. Exhale to swan dive over straight legs. Inhale, press through half lift. Exhale, steps left foot back. Pivot the left heel down. Warrior two. Arms wide by your sides, gazing over your front hand. In this pose, I like to think about engaging the arm muscles and creating stronger, longer, leaner arms. Inhale, press the front leg straight and take it back to a side body stretch, peaceful triangle. Exhale through center, triangle pose. Heel toe the back foot in. Take your right hand to your leg or the ground and gaze up to your top thumb. Think about stacking your arms in one long line and pressing your back foot firm into the earth. On your next exhale, sweep your top arm by your top ear, reaching the fingertips forward, lengthening through the side body. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale to sweep the top arm back and down. Frame your front foot and walk your hands forward, stacking shoulders over wrists for half standing splits. Level your hips with each other and the earth. Take a big breath in. Exhale to release the left foot to match right, top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold over legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lunges right foot back. Pivot the back heel down. Warrior two as you rise. Arms wide, shoulders stacked directly over the hips. On your next inhale, press the front leg straight through peaceful triangle. Back hand to thigh, left arm by left ear. Hold for a few breaths. Exhale through triangle pose. Arms wide through center. Heel toe the back foot in, and the left hand lands on your leg or to the ground. Gaze up to your top hand. Inhale fully. Exhale sweeps the top arm by the top ear, reaching the fingertips towards the top edge of the mat. Gaze up if that feels okay for your neck. By pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, I feel that deepens the stretch through the top hip and side body. Exhale, plants your hands. Pivot to the ball of the back foot and make your way into a half standing splits. Level your hips and power up the top leg. I chose to transition out a little differently. Step your right foot back behind you, then send your left leg high to a three-legged dog. Bend through the top knee and open the hip to the side. Level your hips. Option to flow through chaturanga, left toes high, or chin stand with me. From chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high to a three-legged dog. Open your hip wide to the side. Bend through the top knee and squeeze the heel towards your glutes. Exhale your right knee to nose. Step right foot through, pivot back heel down, side extended. Option for forearm to thigh or right hand to the outside of the right foot. Extend the left arm up and overhead. Consider this once again another side body lengthen and a gentle twist as you open your chest towards the sky. Exhale the top hand down. Step the back foot in, plant the back heel. Inhale to half lift and exhale fold into a pyramid stretch over your right thigh. Option to reach your arms forward as this helps lengthen the spine. Walk the hands under the shoulders and press to a half lift inhale. Exhale, twist. The left hand plants inside or outside of your right foot. Reach your right hand high and draw your right hip back. This is called Revolved triangle. Exhale the top hand down. Step back to three-legged dog with your right leg high to the sky. Bend through your right knee and open the hip wide. Once again, option here to level your hips, extend the leg, flow through chaturanga or chin stand. Inhale through upward facing dog. Press into your hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Stack the hips, bend through the left knee, and open the hip wide. Exhale to level your hips. Draw your knee towards your nose, lunging left foot through. Pivot the back heel down, and take your variation of side extended. Take a big breath in. Exhale to release the top hand down. Setting up for pyramid pose. Step the back foot in. Lengthen on an inhale and fold on an exhale, reaching the arms forward if that feels good. Inhale presses to a half lift with hands under shoulders. Exhale, right hand inside or outside of the left foot. Reach the left hand high. Revolve triangle. As you draw the left hip back, you should feel a deeper stretch to the outer edge of that hip. Breathe. From here, we transition differently again. Exhale the top hand down. Step your back foot through to the top of the mat, feet hip distance. Inhale to a half lift. Hook your peace fingers to your big toes. And with a long spine, we fold. Keep a gentle bend in your knees. And let's spend a few more breaths in this pose, Para Angustasana. Keep the fingers hooked as you inhale through a half lift, lengthen. Exhale, hands to waist, and inhale, rise to stand. High mountain. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky and rise to the mounds of your toes. Tuck the lower rib cage. I really love this pose. Lower your heels with hands to waist. Step the left foot back. Widespread foot pose. Feet parallel. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Hands touch. Exhale, hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, roll the chest open. Exhale, hinge from the hips as you bow forward. Tuck the chin slightly, drawing the crown towards the ground, and reach the arms overhead. Consider slowly shifting the weight towards the mounds of your toes to help deepen the pose. Very slowly, on your next inhale, press to a half lift with hands under shoulders. Walk yourself to your back leg, the left leg. Hold your leg with your hands and draw yourself in towards your thigh. Forehead to shin, and breathe. Inhale through center, lengthening to a half lift. Exhale to your right leg. Hold your leg and bow in, chest to thigh, chin or forehead to shin. Stay at the top of your mat. As you plant your hands, pivot to the ball of the back foot and step through to the top of your mat. Malasana. Heel toe your feet as wide as your mat, point the toes out and sink the hips between your heels. If the heels are lifted, keep the hands on the earth. Otherwise, draw your hands together at your heart and sit tall. It might feel nice to gently sway side to side, helping to open each hip a little deeper. From here, we lizard pose. Plant your hands and lunge your left foot back. Walk the hands in line with your right foot as you lower your back knee. Open your chest forward and breathe into your right hip. Stay up on your hands or lower down to forearms with me. Option to gently sway side to side through your hips, helping to open your right hip a little more. Just go as far as you can comfortably. Slowly on an inhale, press back to your hands. From here, shift back to a half splits, flexing through the right toes. Let's take dynamic movement, bending back through knee, lengthening through knee. Do what feels good and move with your breath. Coming through Malasana by stepping your back foot through to the top of your mat. Once again, hands might press together at heart center. On an exhale, plant your hands and lunge your right foot back. Lower your right knee, hands in line with your left foot. Inhale, open your chest forward. Stay here as you slowly lower your hips towards the ground. You might drop to forearms at some point during the duration of this practice, and we're here for several breaths. If it feels accessible, you might choose to gently rock the hips side to side, deepening the left hip opening. On an inhale, press to hands and make your way through a half splits variation. Pause there and take dynamic movement as you need, releasing through hip and hamstring. From lizard, tuck your back toes and send the left leg high to a three-legged dog pose. From here, we come into a standing split at the back of the mat by walking your hands towards your right foot. You can hold your right ankle with your right hand and draw yourself in towards your leg, sending the top leg as high as you can. Slowly walk your hands back to a three-legged dog and release the left foot down. Inhale, right leg high to the sky, setting up for the other side. Begin to walk your hands towards the back of the mat. You can hold your left ankle with your left hand to help pull yourself in, taking your top leg high. This is my favorite way to get into standing splits. Walk yourself back to three-legged dog and release your right foot to match left. I'm choosing to lower into child's pose, as that is technically practicing an inversion in my mind, so let's spend a few breaths breathing into the back body. Inhale through a tabletop and tuck your toes, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Half frog stretch, starting in Sphinx pose. Guide the left knee to the left outer edge of your mat. Hold your left foot with your left hand and draw your heel in towards your hip. Option to lift your chest or lower your head to the ground. Breathe into a quad stretch. Release your left foot back, then guide your right knee to right outer edge. Draw the heel in towards your hip. Once again, option to lower your head to the ground if that feels better. Slowly release your foot back down to the ground, sending your feet hip distance. Lower your forehead down. Bend through your knees and reach back for the tops of your feet or your ankles for Dhanurasana, bow pose. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, press the feet into the hands, opening up your heart a little more. Breathe into a back bend. Slowly release your feet. Lower your head. Plant your hands by your sides and press back to child's pose at your own time. I am choosing to child's pose with my knees together and my arms draped by my sides, as I find this variation rounds my back a little more, countering the back bend. Preparing now for the peak pose of the practice. Make your way into a downward facing dog pose. From there, lunge the right foot through between your hands. Pivot the back heel down. Side extended. Starting with your right hand to the inside of your right foot, left hand high. Reach your left hand back either for a half bind or your right arm under for a full bind, hands together behind your back. Roll your chest open. Coming through Super Soldier. Release the bind and keep the right hand planted under the right leg. From here, step the back foot up and in quite a bit. Then extend your left hand forward and to an angle. As you shift the weight forward, your back foot lifts off the ground. Right hand reaches for left ankle or foot. Then try to extend both legs long, sending your top knee high and hugging your top heel in towards your glutes, gazing straight back behind you. Slowly release and step the left foot back, sending right leg high to a three-legged dog. Take any movements that feel good releasing the pose. Option to join me in taking a vinyasa. On your next exhale, step the left foot through between your hands, setting up in side extended. Pivot the back heel down, left hand to the inside of the left foot, right arm high. Right hand reaches back for a half bind. Option, take it through a full bind. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale through Super Soldier. Keep the left arm under the left leg. Step your back foot in. Reach your right arm forward to an angle. Shift the weight forward and lift your back foot off the earth. Left hand holds right foot. Hug the heel in towards your seat as you send your top knee high, gazing straight back behind you. Gently release back, stepping right foot back, sending left leg high to a three-legged dog. Bend through the top knee, take any movements that feel good, and once again, option to flow it out with me, exhaling through chaturanga, inhaling upward facing dog, exhaling downward facing dog. Now felt like the right time to finish the practice. So you can jump through to seated or lower your knees and make your way onto your back with knees into your chest. From here, come into Gomukhasana legs by crossing the right leg in front of left. Then hug the knees in towards the chest with hands to shins, feeling a nice stretch through the right hip. I chose to stay in this pose for several breaths, so take this opportunity to relax and stay anchored in on the breath. Coming through a supine variation of Super Soldier. Have your left hand hold the outer edge of your right foot. Then guide your right arm to the inside of your right leg, holding your left foot, opposite hand to foot. Then hug your left heel in towards your glutes and extend your right leg by your right ear. Do your best, as this is a little bit crazy, but fun to try. Slowly release, cross left leg over right, and gently hug the knees in towards the chest for a nice stretch on the left hip. Soften everything into the mat and connect with your breath. Supine Super Soldier. From here, have your right hand hold the outer edge of your left foot. Then guide your left arm to the inside of your left leg, holding right foot, opposite hand to foot. Guide your right heel in towards your seat and extend the left leg by the left ear. Breathe. Slowly release the pose, holding feet like happy baby pose, guiding the soles of the feet to touch. Draw your forehead to your feet. Lower your head, knees together at your heart center. Let your knees roll to the left as you gaze over the right shoulder for your final twist of practice. Inhale your knees through center, exhaling them to the right, gazing over the left shoulder. Inhale your knees through center and exhale into a long morning stretch. Point your toes and reach your arms overhead, interlacing the fingers. Take a couple big breaths in and out in this pose. Setting up in your final rest, feet wide, arms by your sides, or perhaps one hand to heart, one hand to belly, as I like to do. Close your eyes and let the weight of the body melt down into the ground, feeling fully supported here. Take this opportunity to let your muscles regroup after all that deep stretching before you go about your day. I'll wake you in a few minutes. You can begin to deepen your breath and bring energy back to the body, starting with fingers and toes. At your own time, gently roll your head from side to side, releasing your neck. And inhale through one more long morning stretch before guiding your knees into your chest. Take your time making your way up to a seated position, guiding hands under thighs and rocking up, or rolling to one side and pressing up. Thank you for being here and joining me in today's short little practice with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't hesitate to give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We will see you in the next one. Namaste.